All right, I have 5:45, so I will call to order the proclamation pre-agenda meeting that we have set. We have three presentations this evening, beginning with the commendations honoring the members of the Village of Biscayne Park Police Department. And there are two separate ones dealing with two separate incidents. The first is one related to a structure fire. On Monday, June 10, 2024, Captain Louis Rodriguez, Captain Jorge Rosero, Officer Daniel Rodriguez, and Officer Santiago Cornes swiftly responded to a structural fire incident at 940 Northeast 116th Street. Their quick actions resulted in the safe evacuation of three individuals and a canine companion from the affected residence. Furthermore, these officers displayed exceptional bravery by entering the premises that were pitch black with smoke to ensure that all individuals were out and ultimately suppressed the fire, safeguarding both lives and property. Now, therefore, be it I, the Mayor Jonathan Groth, on behalf of the Village Commission, Administration, residents of the Village of Biscayne Park, thank you for always going above and beyond and for your exemplary service to this community. A letter of commendation will be placed in the employment file for these officers. The next incident is for the flood response. And I will read that now. On Wednesday, June 12, 2024, the Village of Biscayne Park started dealing with significant flooding issues necessitating a state of emergency declaration. On Wednesday night, Captain Jorge Rosero, officers Luigi Moschia and Michael Marchesi arrived promptly in the village and went above and beyond their normal duties to assist residents. They waded through water levels exceeding knee height to sandbag houses and check on residents' welfare. Their efforts continued with the addition of Officer Jerome Williams, who patrolled through the night, mapping flooded streets to provide crucial information on impassable areas. The following day, Thursday, Captains Jairo Lozano and Jorge Rosero, Officers Frank Solano, Jose Rodriguez, and Detective Windsor Lozano returned to the village. They engaged in sandbagging operations and conducted door-to-door checks in water nearly waist deep. They assisted with several evacuations and medical emergencies without complaint, even as others were fatigued. Officers Maida Alvarez, Santiago Cornes, and Corporal Alvin Rogers assisted stranded motorists and aided work crews throughout the storm. On Friday, Captains Jorge Rosero and Jairo Lozano, despite exhaustion, continued their efforts to sandbag homes and assist residents. Officer Jorge Rosero carried individuals from flooding homes to dry ground, and the professionalism of Officer Jairo Lozano didn't blink an eye when dealing with panic and verbal insults from some. They remained on site until after 10 p.m. to ensure pumps that arrived were operational and making a huge difference. Officers Maida Alvarez and Santiago Cornes conducted welfare checks with code enforcement and assessed damages to residents' homes. They also aided in gathering critical supplies and resources for safe response. Corporal Luis Sanchez and Officer Santiago Cornes stayed late and assisted with pump operations and supported exhausted officers and public work crews with food and water. While certain there were others whose invaluable contributions that may have been missed in overseeing various critical tasks throughout the village. To those individuals, we extend our sincere thanks and apologize for any oversights. Our entire team, alongside the incredible crew with the Public Works Department, and Code Compliance Department, worked tirelessly through these challenges. We are immensely proud of every one of you for your dedication and exceptional services during this emergency event. I, Mayor Jonathan Groth, on behalf of the Village Commission, Administration, residents of the Village of Biscayne Park, thank you for always going above and beyond and for your exemplary service to the community. A letter of commendation will be placed in the employment file for the following persons. In the Police Department, Lieutenant Jorge Rosero, Lieutenant Jairo Lozano, Corporal Alvin Rogers, Detective Windsor Lozano, Officer Luigi Moschia, Officer Michael Marchesi, Officer Francisco Solano, Officer Jose Rodriguez, Officer Maida Alvarez. The Public Works Department, John Jenkins, Derek Murray, Early McWilliams, James Thomas, and in Code Compliance Department, Supervisor Luciano Nibs and Officer Rafael Gutierrez. Our next proclamation for this evening is honoring Olympian Sarah Newberry Moore. Whereas Sarah Newberry Moore, a Miami native and former Village of Biscayne Park resident, whereas on the race course, Sarah has 10 plus years of pro and Olympic sailing experience and 5 plus years as a U.S. national team athlete in sailing. She was a training partner for the United States Olympic team in 2016 and 2021. Sarah and her partner, David Liebenberg, were ranked as the top American NACRA 17 team at the 2020 World Championship. Whereas she is established as one of the best female drivers in performance sailing in U.S. history, Sarah has won 5 national championships, 2 North American championships, and the ISAF World Cup Miami. She was the first woman driver in U.S. history to win the U.S. Youth Championship and the U.S. National Championship for the Alter Cup, the F1 6 National Championship, and the F1 8 National Championship. And whereas within a few more short years, she was the top-ranked female multi-hull skipper in the United States. During the 2016 quadrennium, Newberry set her sights on success at the NACRA 17 class. She made it to the top of the fleet multiple times, but unfortunately missed out on selection for the Olympic Games. Despite falling short of her goal, Newberry pivoted her sights towards training for 2020 and served as a training partner for Team USA boat. Since then, she has partnered with David Liebenberg. The two have shown their ability to make it to the top of the fleet and have been selected to participate in the 2024 Games. Now, therefore, it be resolved that I, Jonathan Groth, Mayor of the Village of Biscayne Park, Florida, joined by the entire commission, do hereby proclaim July 9, 2024 as Sarah Newberry Moore Day. And our final proclamation for this agenda is our proclamation recognizing July 4th as Independence Day. Whereas the United States Declaration of Independence is the pronouncement adopted by the Second Continental Congress meeting in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on July 4, 1776. And whereas the Lee Resolution for Independence was passed by the Second Continental Congress on July 2 with no opposing votes, the Committee of Five had drafted the declaration to be ready when Congress voted on independence. And whereas John Adams, a leader in pushing for independence, had persuaded the committee to select Thomas Jefferson to compose the original draft of the document, which Congress edited to produce the final version. The declaration was a formal explanation of why Congress had voted to declare independence from Great Britain more than a year after the outbreak of the American Revolutionary War. Whereas our founding fathers made it the centerpiece of policies and their rhetoric, since then it has become a well-known statement on human rights, particularly its second sentence: we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, therefore, I, Jonathan Groth, Mayor of the Village of Biscayne Park, Florida, joined by the entire commission, do hereby issue this proclamation calling for our community to recognize the 4th of July as our Independence Day, a time to celebrate our beautiful land of the free and the home of the brave. That concludes our pre-meeting agenda. We will adjourn and